I think the goal of a bill, like a bill that's proposed by a government, the goal should be no one should ever talk about it. Because once people start to talk about it, there's probably an issue with it. Just go down the list of bills that we've discussed in Quebec, in Canada. Bill 96, outrage. Bill 40, how dare you, federal side. Bill C11, oh my God. Bill C13, the worst. When people talk about a bill, chances are that's a bad thing. So now let's talk about the Quebec government's new Bill 22, known as the New Act Respecting Expropriation. It's been proposed by the Quebec government, and it would replace the 1973 Expropriation Act. But Montreal's Economic Institute is warning that the bill is actually a huge step backwards for property rights. They claim the bill prioritizes the interests of municipalities at the expense of citizens' rights. Further worried that the bill will hurt the business environment in Quebec, as it will no longer take into account projects in development or ones that are to be developed. Gabriel Giguère joins us now, a public policy analyst with the Montreal Economic Institute. Mr. Giguère, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you.
So let's talk in simple terms. Why don't you explain, I did a brief outline here, but why don't you explain Bill 22 to our audience and why you think it's so concerning?
Well, with this bill, Quebec is trying to reduce the cost of expropriation, limiting the required compensation to the market value of the land in its current state, rather than its value to the owner, which takes the property potential into account. So the aim for the Quebec government is to simplify the process and reduce the value to be paid. And this was a long-standing demand from the municipalities.
So I own some land, and let's say it is near a new REM station, and the municipality wants to do something with it. This will allow a municipality a much easier way of getting that land?
Well, there's two things here. The compensation paid will be less, and the procedure, if you don't accept that and you're fighting it, well, the procedure is still going on, which was not the case in the actual Expropriation Act of 1973. So there's two things. And the high compensation right now is absolutely normal, because given the expropriated party has no say in the process, it's normal for the for the government body that's doing this processing to have to pay a hefty sum in compensation.
So property owners here will get less of a payout. But let me just give you what I hear is the opposite side here. Mm-hmm. Is, we want things to get done. The public gets upset at times with how slow progress happens, development happens in this province. Sometimes you compare it to how things work in other places, and you just wish things would happen faster. So isn't the goal here noble, to allow these types of things to happen much quicker?
That I understand, the fact that things might need to move quicker, but it's a direct attack to the property rights of people. The fact that expropriating someone is long and expensive is not a flaw here, but rather a safeguard against abuse of this exceptional procedure. And now if municipality or government entity are allowed to use that power more easily, because process will be faster and it's going to cost less for them, will they use it more often? It's not going to be a good thing for citizens.
Now, the current act was enacted in 1973, so that's 50 years ago. Was it time? Maybe the way they're doing it is wrong, but was it time to revisit the Expropriation Act, given it's 50 years old and boy, times have changed?
Well, you're talking about 50 years old, but when this bill of Expropriation Act of 1973 has passed 4 years after the Mirabel expropriation. And as a reminder, it's 12,000 Quebecers were expropriated by the federal government in the construction of Mirabel Airport. The compensation was below the market value. I understand that people want to maybe revisit the Expropriation Act, but the current one, I think, is better for the property rights, because jurisprudence considers value to the owner right now when calculating compensation. In short, market value and development potential. And so value at which the owner will be willing to sell, considering other possible uses. Mm-hmm. And so it protects the citizen way better than right now, because if market value was so exceptional, you might already sold your home or your land, which is not the case.
We're with Gabriel Giguère, public policy analyst with the Montreal Economic Institute. Gabriel, you mentioned the expropriation. What you said, 12,000 homes for the Mirabel Airport. Is this your worry? Is that if this bill goes through, many people will find themselves expropriated for the quote unquote greater good?
There's two things. My main worry, or one of the main worry we have, is that government entity or municipality will use more often this power and this procedure. But this procedure needs to stay exceptional, right? It cannot be used often because someone is depossessed by the expropriation. And so we don't want to see municipalities for greater good, quote unquote, to expropriate more people. And this bill might give them the tools to do it easier. So this is our main concern here.
And just on the value of the land, if the value was market rate, would that change your thoughts on the bill? If at least at the end of the day, property owners got the current land value?
Well, right now with the new bill, they're saying they're going to give the market rate of, the market value of the land. But the problem is, if I would have a land of, let's say, $300,000, which is not my case, and I have projects, I'm contacting engineer and other specialists to build maybe condo or other projects. Well, this project, there's a big chance this project is worth many millions of dollars, or way more than only the market value of my land. But with this new bill, the government will only give me the market value of my land.
Gotcha. And not the value of what money you could make if you developed on your own land. Okay, Gabriel, we got to leave it there. I want to thank you for coming on. Thanks so much.
Thank you, sir.
Gabriel Giguère is a public policy analyst with the Montreal Economic Institute.